This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So when you've got 300 amps to choose from in your Fractal unit, sometimes it's difficult to know where to start. So I wanted to do a semi-regular series kind of looking at some of my favorite amps. I wanted to start off today with a range of amplifiers that go from sort of clean to pretty high gain and a few in the middle there. So my first choice is the Meza Boogie Lone Star. I think the most famous user of this amp would be Andy Timmons, and the clean channel I really like because it's got kind of this huge headroom and also kind of big bubbly feel to it, and it takes drive pedals really well. All of these amps I've just tried sticking an RC boost in front, and you'll hear that some of them get pushed into higher gain, some of them get pushed just a little bit louder. The Lone Star just gets a little bit louder, but a beautiful amp. 6L6 tubes. If you want to get closer to Andy Timmons, he actually changes his tubes for EL34s. The next amp I've chosen is the Shure DC30. Now this is more on the kind of Vox side of cleans, sort of a little bit closer to that edge of breakup. Loads of sparkle, a little bit bigger in the bass than a Vox as well. A really, probably one of the first kind of boutique amplifiers that I can remember hearing about and seeing on stage. Beautiful amp, really touch responsive as well. This one, again, I've just tried boosting with an RC boost and it's just a beautiful thing. The divided by 13 FTR is actually an amp that I've experienced in real life. And this thing has like a really big kind of 3D kind of clean, was how I thought of it in real life. I think one side of it was based on a Princeton circuit, and the other side is a bit more martially, the drive side. But what I find it really useful is kind of for funky stuff and sort of picked lines. I think it's a really kind of snappy one for that. And there's been a few kind of famous users of this. Ben Jones, you may have heard of from The Voice. I saw him live playing one of these, and there's probably a bunch more that I'll try and find and put on screen here. But really cool kind of cleans for funk and stuff like that, I'd suggest. Last of all, we got another kind of Vox style, the Morgan AC20, which is probably, you know, one of the more famous boutique takes on a Vox, next to Matchless. And this one, I just really love the way that this works as well. It seems that these Voxy style things have a beautiful kind of edge of breakup thing, and when you hit them with a mid-push drive, they can really come to life. So those are my four kind of choices for clean to slight edgy stuff. Then I chose some higher gain stuff. Again, one of my favorite choices for higher gain as well is the Lone Star, because it's got this second channel, which can be a clone of the first channel, or it has some different things going on if you want them. It can go all the way from kind of Dumble style, kind of clean to mid gain, all the way up to fully kind of saturated Mark style Meza Boogie type distortion. So give that one a try. I think you'll enjoy it. Next, I chose the Robin Ford Dumble ODS. There were two of these amps, I believe, made by Howard Dumble. I think Robin preferred one of them. I think Two Rock also built one of their clones specifically from Robin Ford's amp, and I think also there was a Bluetooth clone made of one. So there's a few of this type of amp around, but it's based on one very specific circuit. Of course, you've heard of Dumble amplifiers. They're all in the Fractal sound really good, and I think they all do an incredible range of tones. I just really like this one for sitting on that kind of really kind of sparkly but still smooth drive kind of thing, and once you push it with a bit more drive at the front end, they can really come alive. I've also chosen probably the other kind of top kind of amp builder, the Trainwreck Liverpool. Now there are 3 Trainwreck amps in the Fractal world. We've got the Rocket, we've got the Express, and we've got the Liverpool. The Liverpool is a little bit more Britishy sounding. I'd suggest maybe a little bit closer to the Vox world, but all of the Trainwreck amps sound really, really good and can go, if you just use the volume or gain, essentially you can go from kind of clean to really quite a lot of distortion, and I think they have quite a unique character, loads of chime and loads of kind of sizzle to them, somewhere in that Vox kind of Marshall territory, but also in their own kind of special territory of their own. Ken Fisher designed and made these amps, and quite a clever guy, clearly. The last amp choice that I made was the Cameron CCV. Now, Cameron amps you may not have heard of, but they were a designer that was around for a bit, and I think worked with Cliff to make these actual models. And they are, I think, some of the best Marshall tones that you can find within the Fractal world. I believe Aaron Marshall used to use one of these. He may even still do. There's a rig rundown. I think he talks about using the Cameron models in that. Really kind of awesome hot rodded Marshall type tones, and quite well behaved. Lots of sizzle, just sounds really awesome. Really feels good to play as well. I've used all these amp models through the Legacy Cab 103, which is like a basket weave 4x12. I think this cab is a really good starting point as well. If you're looking for just a does everything pretty well cab that's not gonna totally, you know, get in the way of you dialing in tones in the way you like. I've also used the Aurora multi-tap delay, which is based on Andy Timmons's Keeley Halo pedal, and I think Robert Keeley even helped Cliff with a schematic for that. And then a large plate at the end. I've kept it pretty minimal, and then an RC boost is what I was using to drive each of these amp models halfway through each clip. I think you can tell that these amp models have quite a lot of life to them. Hopefully, if you like those tones, you can grab these presets. They're called 8 amps 1 and 8 amps 2. 8 amps 1 is the cleans, and then 8 amps 2 is the more dirty ones, but they might be a good kind of starting point for you to start tweaking some of these tones to your liking, find the one that works for you. I hope that's useful. I hope that helps you kind of narrow down some things that you might want to check out. I'm going to do more of these videos going forward. Please feel free to subscribe and leave comments below if you've got your own favorite amps that you like to use. I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers for now.